Fuel queues, where are they? Trishaw drivers push their vehicles as they move up in line to buy fuel in Colombo, Sri Lanka in July this year. Such queues at the petrol stations have disappeared after the QR code system for obtaining fuel was introduced. After introducing the QR code, fuel usage has dropped, and the browser owners who do not get hired to transport fuel stands at a loss of revenue. As reported by the central bank, US 600 million had been spent on importing fuel monthly, and it had come down to US 230 million. It is a commendable decision taken by the government to uplift the economy. Bachelor Tea opens an exclusive outlet at Bandaranaike International Airport. Premium tea gifting brand Bachelor Tea expanded its network by opening its newest exclusive outlet at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Located at the departure transit area of the airport, passengers flying in and out of the country can avail themselves of a taste of the finest Ceylon tea or select an elegant gift in unique packaging and premium quality for business partners or friends and families who are overseas. Colombo Lotus Tower. Despite an economic, political crisis, Sri Lanka is happy and proud to rejoice in constructing one of the tallest buildings in the East, the Lotus Tower. Colombo Lotus Tower is 356 meters, that is 1,168 feet, tower located in Colombo, Sri Lanka. It also reflects the symbolic landmark of Sri Lanka. As of 16 September 2019, the building is currently the tallest self-supported structure in South Asia. It is also second tallest structure in Asia after the guy wire supported INS Kattabomman in India. The tower is also the 11th tallest completed tower in Asia and is also the 19th tallest tower in the world. China may be a hindrance to the IMF bailout. IMF officials have hinted that China may emerge as a spoiler in Sri Lanka's debt talk, torpedoing an agreement the government desperately needs between creditors as a precondition for the IMF bailout and condemning Sri Lanka to prolonged economic misery. If creditors are unwilling to give assurance to Sri Lanka, it would deepen the crisis and negatively affect Sri Lanka's debt repayment capacity. Peter Brewer, the IMF's mission chief, told reporters in early September at the end of our visit to the country. We urge all players to move expeditiously and swiftly so Sri Lanka can secure an IMF bailout to move forward. Facing down powerful creditors has pushed Sri Lanka into uncharted financial waters. From now on, Sri Lanka will see the complexity in dealing with creditors' equity, said Manjula Fernandapulle, a Sri Lankan commercial lawyer advising the foreign ISP holders. Adding to the Sri Lanka's headaches are complicated geopolitics. Colombo's creditors, China, India, Japan and the US, are locked in a contest for dominance in the Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka's debt issue is now a geopolitical issue, George Cook, a former Sri Lankan diplomat, told Nikkei. It cannot afford to upset any of its foreign allies who have helped the country financially. Asian diplomatic sources in Colombo say a US-leading bloc that includes India, Japan and other Western governments has pressured the new government under President Ranil Wickremesinghe not to give in to China's favored route of debt relief, refinancing through new loans or deferring payments, and insist on a haircut like other foreign lenders. Finance Minister Secretary K.M.M. Siriwardena and U.S. Deputy Chief of Mission Douglas Neck celebrate the Development Objective Assistance Agreement at the Finance Ministry. U.S. aid signs new 5-year agreement with Sri Lanka September 16, 2022. Building on the U.S. aid administrator Samantha Power's recent visit, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung announced recently that the United States, through U.S. aid, would provide an additional estimated $65 million in assistance to Sri Lanka over 5 years. The service falls under the Development Objectives Assistance Agreement, or DOAG, signed by Gabriel Grau, Mission Director for U.S. Aid Sri Lanka and the Maldives, and Mahinda Siriwardena, Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Economic Stabilization and National Policies. This funding is in addition to $60 million of new humanitarian and fertilizer assistance that Administrator Power announced last week in response to the current economic and political crisis in Sri Lanka. In celebrating of the start of this new bilateral agreement, Ambassador Julie Chung remarked, "The United States and the American people are proud of our enduring and robust partnership with the people and government of Sri Lanka. We remain fully committed to supporting locally led initiatives to advance a stable, prosperous and peaceful Sri Lanka, critical to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific in which all nations are connected, prosperous, resilient and secure." The jobless rate in Tokyo increases as the economy continues to contract. The Sri Lanka's official unemployment rate increased in the second quarter ended in June as the unprecedented economic crisis pushed many out of work and sky-high interest rates, import restrictions, soaring inflation and other demand destruction policies implemented to arrest the situation. The data released last week showed that the official unemployment rate had risen to 4.6% by the end of second quarter from the 4.3% recorded in the first quarter. However, this may not paint the grim outlook of the local unemployment condition, as the official jobless rate does not capture unemployed people who had given up looking for work during the survey period. Sri Lanka Tourism Alliance launches destination marketing campaign. The Sri Lanka Tourism Alliance has launched a destination marketing campaign to drive winter bookings and increase the country's visibility through several different mechanisms. This is a critical requirement as, despite lifting most adversaries, the return of stability is not being communicated to travelers in the key markets who think Sri Lanka is still not ready for tourists. The campaign is primarily digital, covering the entire spectrum of the travel purchase decision. Potential travelers to Sri Lanka are the primary target group. The UK, France, Germany and Spain have initially targeted, followed by UAE and GCC. Government to provide a nutritious meal for 1,080,000 school children before schools reopen, said the President. Measures have been taken to provide a balanced meal at the government's expense. As an initial step, a nutritious meal for 1,080,000 school children before the reopening of schools is already in progress. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said, While issuing a message relating to World Children and Elders Day, he said that the program is being carried out to provide a balanced meal with the approval of Health Ministry nutritionists. India's RSS chief says only India helped Sri Lanka. Addressing a program organized by Bharat Vikas Manch, an organization associated with the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha or RSS, Chief Mohan Bhagwat said that it was only India that helped Sri Lanka and the Maldives when these countries were in distress, while other countries were interested in finding business opportunities, the Indian media reported. Hello viewers, the situation in Sri Lanka is deteriorating in every aspect, but at the same time, the Sri Lankans are resilient. The future is hopeful. Stay safe and goodbye for now.